Alright guys, I'm here back with more Mass Effect 3. We're in the middle of Horizon. We're almost at the end of the game. We're almost at the point of no return, which is really weird. But yeah, I'm also listening to the Big Bird Live Feed update.
From this point forward
Let's
in
go.
the update, whenever they talk about rumors, I want you guys to know that that is code for nonsense. No, it's code for I don't like this person. It means nothing. There's no such thing as a person starting rumors. There are no rumors in the house. Whenever somebody talks about rumors, it's just like, I don't like this person, and I'm just going to sit there starting rumors.
It's evidence planting, basically. It's really like, I'm just going to throw this out there as it was a thing. It's not.
Yes. So Frenchie's going to talk with Derek F. And Tiffany, and he says that he thinks that they should work with Brent long term. He's complete 180 on Brent. He loves Brent. He wants to keep Brent around. And hey, we can work with Christian in the short term. He is now down for working with Christian because Christian's safe. Christian talks to Frenchie, and they talk through the fact that Christian's safe, and that Frenchie is looking at at somebody like Derek X. Christian mentions that Derek X and Travis are a duo, and that is some true information right there.
Come on.
And Frenchie says, well, don't worry, I have an idea of what I want to do. I just need some pawn.
Heavy resistance outside the tower. If you're receiving this, I've got evidence you cannot ignore. Confirmation that my father is working for the Elusive Man. Connection established.
Didn't we covering that?
I have your report on the process, Mr. Lawson. Cut to the chase. Can you do it?
Theoretically, control is possible, yes. The Reaper subjects we converted are responding, but it's difficult to maintain.
I thought that might be the case. Not to worry, Henry. With Sanctuary's help, we'll get it sorted.
He's talking about controlling Reaper forces, right? Is that possible?
I don't know. I'll play the rest of it.
We've done it. We've found a way to co-opt their control signal. As long as the Reaper troops remain in close proximity to our signal, we can maintain control indefinitely.
Excellent news. And how could we extrapolate this technique to apply to the Reapers themselves?
That's a much bigger challenge.
Now we know why the Reapers attacked Sanctuary.
They found out what Cerberus was up to. Bad news for the Elusive Man.
But it's good news for us. We finally have our link to Cerberus. Lowering the access ladder. Come on, let's move.
Commander, there's more here. Look.
Damn it. I hope she's ready for him.
So at this point in time, it's starting to look like the target has shifted from Christian to Derek X after the Kyland info drop. And now that was the only real spark of a seed of something, was that Kyland said that Derek X had been not really feeling Whitney, which is all he said the day before, that he wasn't really feeling Whitney. And it has now spawned into Derek X is starting rumors, and specifically he is, I think, trying to get Derek X and Christian to be against each other. He is saying that Derek X is starting rumors about Christian, which is just complete nonsense. But that's where it's going, and he's trying to, I think, convince Christian that Derek X is him. And so that's the plan now, it seems. And he just needs some pawns.
Just needs pawns. Frenchie, hello. I'm talking to you a week ahead of when you're gonna see this, because I don't think you're gonna be in there for too long. Frenchie, you're a big fan, right? You know which week in the season you kind of get carte blanche to put up whoever for whatever reason, and no one thinks anything of it? The first week. You can literally put anyone up because there's not enough information. This pawn nonsense is ridiculous. It's not good for you. It's not good for you, especially when you promise safety to, again, like 14 out of the 16 people in the house. This is gonna be a problem. This is foreshadowing what's gonna come next, Taryn. Yeah, that's the thing that happened. Now the plan is to move into the night, before the pawns. How is he gonna find his pawns? Let's find out.
Yes. So we are then going to get a conversation. With Derek F and Frenchie. Frenchie says, Derek X or Derek F. They're going to be looking at the memory wall.
I do remember this fight for some reason. It's probably not a great sign if I remember it.
Brief interaction here that Derek F. And we're gonna it's a side tangent here for Derek. Derek F side tangent. Derek F apparently doesn't like Whitney. I don't know where this came from. I don't know when it happened, but he is going to be looking at the memory wall with Frenchie, and he points to Whitney, and he says, "She's got to go." Okay. And Frenchie's like, "Well, we need her for now." He's like, "Okay." And you're like, "Okay, that was weird." Just a little blip. I guess he was just kind of like, I guess it was just kind of like a one-off thing. Probably, it's probably not like I don't know. It's probably not going to go anywhere. Derek F then goes to Azza and Tiffany. He says, "Look, guy's going this week, but a woman's got to go next week. I think it should be Whitney." And you're like, no. Later, here I'll finish the Derek F saga. Later, he talks to Christian, and he says, "Hey, Derek X is gonna go this week. Next week has to be Whitney." And Christian's like, "I'm cool with Whitney though. Why would we do that? I don't want to do that." And he's like, "Oh, that's fine."
Derek is literally, he's zeroed in on this Whitney thing. He's trying to find the one other person who'll be like, "Yeah, let's do that." He's been unsuccessful so far, but it's good to know where Derek F's head is. And we haven't talked about this alliance really yet, but the Cookout Alliance is starting to form, and I'm very pumped about this alliance. But it's interesting because I think that
let's pause this.
Alliance,
Shepard.
Commander Shepard. Excellent timing.
Put the gun down.
No. Oriana tried to shoot me. Miranda's poisonous influence, no doubt.
I'm sorry she missed. Where's Kai Lang?
I don't know. Gone. He took my research and left us here to die.
Miranda, can you hear me?
That's close enough.
Yeah, this is where Miranda can die, so hopefully we
Kai Lang
did
didn't finish the job, but
hopefully we did enough.
This ends here.
On the contrary, now that the Reapers are taken care of, we have a way out.
Let her go.
Shepard. Don't let him take her. Shepard, please.
I have no problem with you. I just want Oriana and the research data.
You want a lot.
You get your life in return. How much is that worth?
All right. Take her. But I want her alive. Deal?
No deal.
It would have been nice if that I didn't have that graphical glitch there, but whatever. Yeah, everyone survives. That was good.
Okay, Ori. You're safe now. I'm fine. I want to get out of here. We will. Give me a minute, okay?
Wait, they give her a different voice actor. Whatever. Aren't they supposed to be clones of each other?
I can't believe it's you.
Whatever.
We caught a break. I'm just glad we got here in time.
As am I. Never
As
saw
am
myself
I.
as a damsel in distress.
As am I.
How did you do all this?
Finding my father didn't take long once I confirmed he worked for the elusive man.
I haven't played Black Flag in so
Just
long.
had to follow the lies. Once I saw what this place really was, I couldn't just walk away.
Of course.
Things got really complicated when Reapers showed up. And Kai Lang.
You survived. Not many people could do that.
When you mentioned he was involved, I took a few precautions. Probably saved my life.
You broke into a fortified Cerberus lab while it was being attacked by Reapers. I think you did okay.
I needed to find Oriana. Nothing was going to stop me.
You found her. And I found you. That's all that matters.
Did you worry?
Of course I worried.
It was nothing I couldn't handle.
I know. At least Oriana is safe.
Yes. I just wish she didn't have to see all this.
About your father.
I'm glad he's gone, Shepard. I'm sorry if that sounds cold.
No. I understand.
It's finally over. For both of us. We can stop running.
Yes. You can. What's our status? Any intel we can use from this place?
The research data's gone, but there's basic facility information, shuttle arrivals and departures, Cerberus included. No direct links, but it's a good start.
Grab anything you can off the computer. We'll take it back to be analyzed.
I can do better than that.
What?
Before Kai Lang took off.
Yeah, what happens here if Miranda's dead?
If you
Like, so
act
much is
fast,
relies on
you'll
Miranda.
track him right to the elusive man.
A tracer? Sounds like you thought of everything.
Not quite, but nobody's perfect.
Thanks, Miranda. This is exactly what we need.
Thought you might need some good news.
Damn right. What's next for you two?
Get her someplace safe. Get this scratch cleaned up.
Okay. I've got to follow all this up.
Shepard. Promise me you'll be careful.
I can't do that, Miranda.
I know. Bastard. Come on, Ori.
Oh yeah, looks like I'm gonna be busy later today. Just gonna try to get out of it, but whatever.
Communication scrambler disabled.
Listen to me. This is not a refugee camp. This is a Cerberus facility
Cortez,
run by my
we need to
father,
pick up at the
Henry
tower.
Lawson.
Roger that.
I've had enough of this place.
Okay.
I wasn't in favor of your diversion to Sanctuary, Commander. Too many unknowns. But I was wrong. The Cerberus lab you raided hinted at something big, but we never expected this. All those refugees, all that slaughter, just to study indoctrination.
Sanctuary did need to be shut down, sir. What they learned about the Reapers wasn't worth all those lives.
It's useful intel, Commander, but you're right. The cost was too high. Do we have a location on the elusive man?
Yes, we had a tracer on Kai Lang when he reported back.
Good. That gives us a fighting chance to take Cerberus out of this war.
Agreed. We need to end Cerberus and focus on the Reapers.
My thoughts exactly. Hack it out.
Alright. There we go. Cerberus headquarters, that's the end of the game. Yeah. So we're reaching the end game.
They're not necessarily on the same page, because I think it's very clear Derek F, for whatever reason, is out on Whitney. But I think there's other people, especially I think
I don't know why I didn't even think about it. I could just write the Mass Effect 3 retrospective right now, can't I?
They're not
Like, I don't know why I didn't even think about that.
what was being cited.
It's like, I can technically just do it now.
But it is good to know Derek F has somebody that he doesn't like, because I think for the most part everyone else likes Derek F, which is great.
Yes, and the Cookout Alliance is Tiffany.
I guess we'll go and talk to everyone.
Derek F.
What are we at time
Xavier,
wise? 13
and
minutes.
Aza. Later in the night, Tiffany is talking to Kyland, and she says, "Oh, by the way, Hannah needs to be in the cookout." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize. I just found out." And so Hannah is also going to be protected by the cookout. She
Why?
wasn't sure that they could fully trust her. She says,
Why haven't
"Hannah's
Horizon
young,"
for Tali?
and she doesn't know that Hannah would be able to keep the secret. So they will be protecting Hannah, but
too bad.
but they don't necessarily need to tell her like
Cerberus
the
is
name
already
of the
dead.
cookout. Or
They just don't know it yet. And when their base
Which I
is
think
nothing but a
that's
smoking crater,
completely fine. I
whoever
think
threw the
Hannah,
bomb is
there was one exchange in the kitchen where Tiffany kind of clues in Hannah of what they're doing, and Hannah's just like, yeah, sounds good. I'm just leaves and just continues doing what she's doing, which is perfect.
Oh, yeah, I
that is
forgot.
the exact way you should approach that. Is amazing.
Yeah,
You're saying I'm
still do that,
protected.
too.
Say less. I'll go deal with the other people, and now I'm in the middle of everything. So again, that's a great spot for Hannah to be in. It's a great spot for them to be in. This is a win-win. It's fun. It's great.
You know, in a sea of slaughterhouses, this is something that feels at least a little more solid. This is something that I would be on the lookout for in general moving forward. Anyway, back to the day here. Derek F is going to chat with Brent, and they talk about how Derek X and Travis are probably going to be nominated, and that, you know, either of them leaving would be fine. Brent says Travis would be a good target. He seems very smart. Derek X, or Tiffany and Brittany are going to talk a little bit.
She will be.
Alright, that's possible.
Even for Cerberus, that place was crazy. They've always been about the ends justifying the means. But how do you do that to innocent people and tell yourself you're helping humanity?
I don't know how the elusive man can stand looking at himself in the mirror.
Honestly, I've been wondering about that for a while with those freaky eyes.
Whatever he's thinking, he won't be thinking it for much longer.
Damn right, Commander.
Brittany says that she's cool with Derek X leaving. He hasn't talked any game with her at all, and so they just need to figure out.
Oh, she actually has something to say this time. I was expecting that.
Have fun.
What is it now?
News from Earth. The Resistance snuck video cameras inside a Reaper containment camp. I find the images difficult to process.
I bet it's pretty gruesome in there.
I am not easily repulsed, but I expected the prisoners to adhere to a comprehensible hierarchy of needs. Stripped of societal norms and threatened with death, it is logical that their only priority be survival. They should have turned on each other and been uncompromisingly selfish. But not all were.
So the prisoners were, what, nice to each other?
The Reapers delayed the executions of prisoners who informed them about other prisoners' escape attempts. The more attempts reported, the longer a prisoner would live. But few of the prisoners would report. Some fed misinformation to the Reapers, at the cost of their own lives, to help prisoners who were not even relatives or friends.
It's not just about living till tomorrow. Sometimes you take a stand.
But the probability of success was near zero. And ultimately, they failed. No prisoners escaped.
Are you saying submission is preferable to extinction?
My primary function is to preserve and defend the... No, I disagree. Shepard, I am going to modify my self-preservation code now.
Why?
Because the Reapers are repulsive. They are devoted to nothing but self-preservation. I am different. When I think of Jet, I think of the person that put his life in peril and freed me from a state of servitude. I would risk non-functionality for him, and my core programming should reflect that.
Sounds like you found a little humanity, Edie. Is it worth defending?
To the death.
Welcome to the crew, Edie.
How's it going? Did I miss anything good?
I will explain later, Jeff. But it was something good.
Just want to see.
Yes, Shepard?
Alright.
Understood. If you wish.
Noted.
Cool. Whatever. So we'll go to do this, we'll do Citadel, and then I guess we're ready for the end game at that point.
Not create problems for himself. Can he possibly not create problems for himself for 90 days in the house? And I don't see it happening. This guy is dying to go undercover and do all these operations, and it's not going to work out.
I don't even think he's going to be able to do it undercover. Like he said, he's not going to elude himself by swearing on his kids. That statement right there makes me believe that someone's going to swear on their kids and he's going to have a problem with it. He's not going to be able to keep his mouth shut. It's just going to snowball from there.
To lure people to their deaths.
He might even have composure issues.
Yeah.
So,
I think Derek is just, human. You know, you gotta relax in the Big Brother house for a long time. So let's talk about Derek's chances in the game.
I thought I'd heard
we
of
have
everything.
early boot, middle of the pack, or end of the road. What do you think?
Hard to believe
Where
what
is
was
Derek
down there.
going?
Commander.
I'll say early boot.
Early boot. I'm with you, Brian. I don't think that Derek is going very far. I think he's probably first or second person out of the game.
I always hate this. It's kind of hard to always say first or second person because you never know who's going to win the first HOH, and it could be somebody from the totally off.
I'm toasting Miranda, I think.
How are you getting drunk?
Very carefully. Torian brandy, triple filtered, then introduced into the suit through an emergency induction port.
That's a straw, Tally.
Emergency induction port. It's actually getting a little harder to get it into the slot. I think that means it's working. She was so rude. What did Jack call her? Cerberus cheerleader? With her perfect genes and that attitude and still, she got it done. She stopped her father.
I didn't realize this would be so hard.
I'm
Why
sorry.
is it so hard on her?
I know it must be worse for you. You two were close.
Yeah.
She did whatever it took.
Wait, why is it like as if she died?
She never gave in to you. Never changed herself to please him. Don't me. Sounds like a fork jaw.
Seeing a bit of yourself in Miranda fighting her father?
I spent my life trying to live up to him.
And that life is good. Struggling to find a purpose. I run forward like a moth to a distant moon. I have come to a strange realization that I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, so blessed? Share stuff album. Stories like this to speak across centuries. Maybe we'll answer the questions I've asked. Maybe we'll be the one to make my suffering of something in the end.
Nice job, you genetically perfect Cerberus cheerleader Boschtet. Kila Solai.
Okay.
At your service. How's Miranda?
She'll make a recovery.
Thanks for coming
Oh shit,
by.
didn't mean to do that.
Thanks for coming by.
Okay. Nothing. So who's there? Garrus and Chakwas. Fuck.
Figure out who their people are. And again, there's a lot of, just who are our people? We still don't know. It is only day 2, but there have been so many configurations thrown around that it's a little bit pointless to continue to name all of the different ones. But Tiffany and Brittany have a decent conversation here. Brittany definitely all over the place when it comes to talking with people and trying to figure out what the group is.
I mean, when you go in for a job interview and they tell you they'll call you in 24 hours, you're expecting the call. You're going to be like, did you not say you were going to call me? So that's why there's quite a few people knocking around trying to figure out what this roster is, because also, if you're trying to solidify something and you're only going to feel safe once it's solidified, you need to hear who you can go talk to solidify it. So let's say if you come in and you're like, all right, you're in the slaughterhouse, it's me, you, Kirsten, and Mary. I'm like, okay, cool. So now I know we're good. Let me go talk to Kirsten and Mary and like make sure I'm really good with them as well if we're gonna move in together. Like we need this. You need to use this time to do so. But without knowing you're in this purgatory, well, I don't know who. It could be anybody. So you don't want to really waste your time with the wrong person. Even though it's early enough in the game that you can talk to anyone and solidify things, if someone's gonna be in your long-term plans, you need to like lock that bond in early. So. Again, being in the purgatory position is never a good spot to be in, especially if you're someone who's nervous about the energy.
I've
been studying this ship. There was a Normandy before this one. You died in an attack.
Something like that.
But then you were resurrected to fight the Reapers.
Maybe you and I have a thing or two in common.
But you have something else. The reasons you fought are still alive. Their friendships are they the reason you wish to continue living?
My crew has become my family. We've stared death in the face more times than I can count. Things like that bind people together in ways I can't really explain.
Yes.
What about you? I respect your reasons for being here, but I get the feeling there's something more, Jeff. What's in here?
It is called the Echo Shard. Passed from soldier to soldier, Prothean to Prothean. Each adds their memories to it.
Like a beacon. How far back does it go?
To a time before the Reapers. It is all that is left of my people.
And you don't want to remember that?
Imagine if everyone you knew was dead. You could not remember their faces, or the color of the sky above your home. The memories were gone, but so was the pain. Would you want to remember that, Commander? Even if it meant watching everyone die again?
If I had something like this, seeing Earth again, whole, with everyone still alive, that would be worth the pain.
Before the Reapers, the stars belonged to us. Civilization flourished. There was the Quasar fortress of the Tarandi Vale, the ice canals of Judar IV, the palisades of the Verome Angelic. It was magnificent. But then...
What is it?
The Reapers came. Planet by planet. Extinguished. We fought back.
Are you okay?
I once commanded a ship like this one. A loyal crew with many friends. Was captured. Only I escaped.
What happened to them?
Indoctrinated. The Reapers sent them against me. Year after year. Battle after battle. I was hunted by my own people. Every encounter, a reminder of my failure as a soldier.
I'm sorry. I had no idea.
Until the battle of the Cronian Nebula. I had only my knife left. I cornered my men and slit their throats one by one. I watched them bleed to death, to be certain.
That must have been...
It was the day I understood. War is atrocity committed in the name of survival. It is a lesson I wish I had never learned.
We got a premiere date for Witcher, and it's so late. December 21st? Or December 17th, I mean.
Shocked by the experiments at Sanctuary. They shouldn't be.
Why is that?
Our war lasted for centuries. It provided more time for worse atrocities to be committed. There was a species, the Densorian. They became convinced the Reapers could be placated by sacrificing their own young. The entire planet joined in this ritual. I would spare you the details, but it did not work. They simply made the Reaper's job easier. It was as your elusive man is now. His ambitions are nothing short of madness. Sharpen your knife, Commander. His is a voice that must be silenced. And as throat that must be slit. Subjugating the Reapers will not bring victory. Only their extinction will.
Okay.
That's starting to come up in the house, which is this uncertainty that Frenchie keeps like bringing up and providing the house with.
So Alyssa is going to briefly talk to Frenchie, propose that their two teams work together since so many of them are safe.
So I think we'll just set up the final mission.
Kyland talks with Sarah Beth for a little while. They seem to have a budding friendship. This is something that that I was kind of looking at based on their interviews and bios, that it seems like they might click, and it seems like that could be the case, at least on Sarah Beth's side. Kyland has a lot more options than she does at the moment, and so I don't know if he will reciprocate quite as much. And we know that he is not exactly somebody who cares to pick up a lot of people and hold on to them at the same time, right? He has so many options, right, that he feels very fine letting them go, as we saw with Derek X. So I don't know if this will last, but she says that she's been looking out for one person to trust, and she thinks that person could be him. And he says that she's one of his favorite people. They lock it in, they're working together, and so she says, with that in mind, I want to let you know that Frenchie has told us that he is not going to be putting a woman up on the block. That does not leave a lot of options left, especially now that Christian and Xavier are safe. I just want you to be aware. I think that Derek X is going to be the target, and that he will be fine, but it's something that you should be cautious of, and he is grateful for the information.
Yeah, so I think for me, if I'm making a prediction here, because Kyland really does have a lot of options, where does Kyland's true loyalties lie? I think later on in the night, there was a little bit of a half of a cookout meeting in the parlor room, and I believe it was him, Xavier, and I want to say it was, and they were talking about potentially bringing someone in as like an extra vote, and he pitched Sarah Beth and said, I feel really good about Sarah Beth. I think I have her with us. And Xavier also co-signed, was like, this is the perfect choice. Like, I feel good with Sarah Beth. So I think that's where his true loyalties lie. Again, this is we're about to embark on the third day, and he has given information to a whole lot of people. We don't know, but if I'm putting any poker chips down, I'm putting it on this as his true pick.
So. And the Derek F and Christian conversation happens. Christian is concerned about Frenchie, that he seems to have been running around a bit, playing a bit hard, has a bit of a big
Let's go to the Citadel.
Derek is kind of
do stuff with Miranda, which I think is the last person I have stuff to do with.
The two of them, if necessary, but it's just all. I don't need to tell you any of this because none of it's going to matter. Derek X and Travis are going to talk. Derek is becoming concerned. Things are getting a little weird.
Right? Like nothing's there.
They need to make a play tonight. They need to give Frenchie some other options.
Here.
They need to provide.
Oh no, we have been there. It's just there's nothing there.
Not put them up on the block because it's starting to look bad for them.
I guess that's what his
if
thing
Frenchie
is.
is not really interested in targeting the women, if he can't target Christian, he can't target Xavier, and he may not be interested in targeting Brent. That's not looking good for them, so they need to try and convince him to be willing to target women, or hope something, right? Hope that he could maybe target Brent again, because otherwise it's not going to be good. I will say this about Derek X. I have not been impressed with his game really in any sense. He definitely is a
I believe
guy.
that this is the point that the game puts you back to when you finish the game.
Have his back to the wall.
Is back to before the Citadel headquarters, or the Cerberus headquarters.
He is to the wall right now, and he has been far too passive. He was nowhere to be seen for most of the day, and even once he figures out that he is in a bit of hot water, most of his conversations are with Travis and not with other people. He needs to be doing a lot more. He should have been doing a lot more, a lot sooner.
Yes, so I think with Derek X, what I'm hoping happens is that being mentioned in the short list of people that could go up and having, let's say he survives and it's a near miss, right? He barely survives the block, barely survives the vote, whatever. I'm hoping that wakes him up and puts him, because I think in the preseason what I learned from him was he seems like a logical thinker. He seems like he's going to be sociable, and I see those qualities in him. I don't see him using those qualities in the house at the moment. So I think the wake-up call could help for that logical thinking. And then as far as the sociability goes, he just needs to put in the time. I don't feel like he's putting in the time. Like, when the cameras finally went on him last night, he was playing foosball. I was, who's that? Travis? Why are you with Travis? Leave. Abandon foosball. F foosball. Go somewhere else.
Let's go.
So I do.
Miranda, good to see you. How do you like the place?
Not a part of town I'd normally associate.
I don't like that she's not in her black outfit.
I like it. I'll fix me something while you're back there, would you?
Sure. I've got just the thing. So what brings you back?
I was hearing some confusing reports. Sounded like you had lost your mind.
No doubt. My communications were hacked, among other things. I'm sure the news had a field day.
It did. So, a clone?
Yeah, saw it myself. Did you know anything about this?
Just rumors. Nothing really caught my attention. But about this Brooks.
Heard anything?
Not as Brooks, but as Hope Lilium. Another lie, certainly. When the collectors showed up, she put together the dossiers on your crew for the Elusive Man. Never paid her much mind. Interesting. My focus at the time was bringing you back. We needed the real Shepard, not some cheap knockoff. I mean, really. A clone?
Yes. Hard to imagine.
I'm not sure the galaxy could survive 2 Shepards. Think of the property damage. Oh, they shut down my favorite sushi place.
That's a shame.
Shepard, you didn't.
I did. Fell right through the fish tank.
How did you manage that?
It exploded. Hey, it was the clone's plan, not mine.
Blowing up a fish tank shouldn't be part of anyone's plan. Although executing marine life seems to be some sort of hobby with you. No wonder your clone couldn't resist.
It was the first step in taking over my whole life. We stopped it.
Good thing, but why did it want your life? Why would anyone? All that running, jumping, gunfire. It's crazy.
I try not to think about it.
Probably for the best.
Trust me, I know all this isn't normal.
Speaking of trust, with all this clone business, how do I know you're the real Shepard?
I don't know. You just do.
I'm afraid you'll need to convince me. A compelling argument.
This is a crazy life, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Shepard. Yes, it is.
Okay. So, just double check this. Again, it shouldn't be anybody. There's nobody. I should just check the private terminal real quick. Nothing there. Alright, so, a final thing we're gonna do is go to the Citadel. See if there's anything new there. And even if there isn't anything new, I do want to still go to the Spectre terminal thing, or Spectre thing, and just see if there's anything there, because those things don't show up anywhere outside of there. But then after that, I don't know. Do I want to call it a day? It's kind of a bit early, but I also don't really want to start the end game just yet. And I'd rather save all that for tonight, but I don't know. It really doesn't matter where we go. Oh wait. I'm just double checking. I don't think there's anything new. There's not. Okay. Go here. Embassies. guess we can start this again.
I do think that he has the capabilities, he's just not using them. And as long as he's not using them, I can't, feel positive about what I'm seeing with him. Sure.
Yeah. Not great. Not great. Frenchie is going to start really going forward here. He's going to go up to a big group of Sarah, Claire, Hannah, Tiffany, Brent, Whitney. He says, I want to work with you guys. Then he goes up to this to the HOH room. He gathers a bunch of guys together. He goes to Christian, Kyland, Xavier, Derek F. And he says, here we go. I'm ready. Well, we're ride or die. We're making an alliance called the Slaughterhouse, and then we're going to be the Butchers. Now, I want to remind you of the names in here. Christian, Kyland, Xavier, Derek F. That's a 5-person Butchers alliance that includes the person he was about to target before they won a competition to make themselves safe. He says that this week the target is Derek X because he's been starting rumors about this guy, pointing to Christian. Kyland looks at him like, that's not what I told you. Christian looks at him like, I didn't say anything about that. What are you talking about? And he says, I talked to Christian and his story's lined up. And I'm like, what stories about when? Who? So Derek X is the target. They're all like, that's fine. It's not us, right? And they just need to figure out who the pawns will be. So they talk about potential options. They feel like, okay, you nominate Travis. He's one pawn. And then you just need to figure out a woman to put next to him because it can't be any of us, right? We're in your Butchers Alliance. And so they start throwing out some names of women, and he's like, yeah, maybe I would have to do this, maybe I would have to do that. He was kind of hoping that Sarah might volunteer. I don't know why Sarah is on his mind, but he doesn't really have much of a relationship with her, so he's thinking maybe Sarah might volunteer. He's thinking maybe Sarah and Travis to back
Where do we go now, then?
Derek.
Wait, do we have to go back to Sunset?
So
or Silver Suns? What the fuck it's called?
He then comes out of that room, and he talks to Azza, Alyssa, Hannah, Sarah, Claire. He says, hey, would any of you be willing to be pawns? I'm looking for a pawn. I promise you you'll be safe. Don't worry about it. Of course, none of them take the bait.
Yeah,
and immediately following, they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, so this is where Frenchie shows us a whole new angle of Unhinged that I didn't think he was at. So this happens. It's a lot. I think one thing I want to point out about Frenchie is that people notice it as well if they haven't already. Frenchie has this thing he does where he doesn't stop talking if a new person comes into the room, whether or not he was going to talk to them anyway. Like, he approaches everyone here.
Okay. Okay.
Miranda?
Cleavage looks bizarre, but whatever.
Thought we might try an evening out.
Sounds like you have some time to catch your breath.
I do, just not used to it. Feeling a bit lost. It's kind of sad, really. I got to thinking we needed a break. No point saving the galaxy if we can't enjoy it once in a while.
I have to say I'm a bit surprised.
I thought you might be. I can be, severe.
You're focused. Believe me, I understand.
I was thinking about our talk earlier, about having a normal life. Damn, I'm not very good at this. Truth is, Shepard, I'm not very good at being normal either. Bit of a disaster, really.
I get it. We just need a little practice.
Any ideas?
I love how, like, at this point, I've gone all in on the, Miranda. Romance, when I did not intend on doing that. But whatever.
I have you to myself. So tonight, I'm just gonna be a regular guy taking his best girl out on the town.
Her cleavage looks bizarre in this thing, but whatever.
Just bright lights, a few games, and some very foolish choices. Agreed?
Agreed. I'm gonna need more wine.
Get this woman more wine.
You're pretty sexy when you're pushy. What now?
Let's spin the wheel, see what happens.
Okay. Let me guess, it's going on insane.
Against us, you know.
Maybe. But I've got a good feeling about this.
Okay. Fucking screen's flickering. But whatever. So that should be it, right? I think we're good for.
And to my knowledge, up until this point, Claire was not really in his plans, or not a big part of his plans. But then he like talks to her in front of everyone, and she's in the group, and he's like, "I need a pawn. Listen, if you ride with me now, you know you're 100% good with me." Again, everything he says has this like big like statement speech like thing behind it. We are not reenacting what he did in that HOH room when he brought together the butchers. It was a lot. But this is honestly, this is when I see Frenchie starting to spiral, and it's wild to see someone have so much, because we talked about you've talked a lot about how winning the first HOH of the season is very advantageous to your game. You can set up so much with this that you can be clear to the end game. And I've never seen someone take all of that and just chuck it into the bin and then do whatever Frenchie's doing right now, which is
good.
You're all good, but then also any of you
just
can
head
steal
over
the block
there.
because I need 2 pawns because I'm doing a backdoor.
So yeah, I think there are about 3, maybe
Again, this is
4
the
people
point
in the
of
house
return.
that don't know about the slaughterhouse and the butchers. I don't think there's anybody that knows about the slaughterhouse and doesn't know about the butchers. I think everybody involved has been proposed to be in the butchers, but none of them have solidified the butchers except for this guy group. Frenchie saying the fans are gonna hate this, but they're gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna work. He is down for the Christian in the butcher's business. Except we'll get there. Kyland, by the way,
Next time we will continue on for now. Thank you for
as a
watching.
potential pawn.